Hello, hello, Stephanie Zima here. This week, this week we are talking about something super, super important. It's just limiting beliefs, and the way how we talk to ourselves is so mind blowing. And the lessons that you can learn from really watching not just your behaviors, but also watching your thoughts can really, really be huge, right? So, we're going to be discussing a little bit some of the specific limiting beliefs that I've got for you and that I've been sharing on my social media this week. We're going to emphasize a little bit on what resonated for me with these challenges, and then we're going to talk a little bit about how to combat and overcome these challenges, and we're going to kind of like I'm going to help you transform some of these thoughts, these limiting beliefs in your own life, and what things that you could do to actually walk it free. Okay, so having said that, we're going to start here real quick with the limiting beliefs. So some of those limiting beliefs that are going on is I am stuck in a phase of transition, right? I'm just really stuck. Like when you are stuck, what does it mean you're stuck? That means you can't move forward. It means you can't move backwards, sideways. You're just stuck. And that is just something that is debilitating. It's something that makes you feel hopeless. It's something that is just like, you're just feeling trapped, like an animal in a cage, really. So many are having this thought, I'm stuck. Now think to yourself, when is it that you've thought I'm stuck? How many times have you thought I'm stuck, right? So think about this. The second limiting belief here that we all are kind of dealing with is I am tired of doing it all. We are feeling overwhelmed. We are having so much mental load and no one is doing anything with us. And so the thought keeps in, I have to do it. I have to do it. I have to do it. If I'm not doing it, who does that? Nobody does it, right? I mean, comment below if you're feeling the same way, if you had similar thoughts. I'm unsure about the direction my life is taking. See, when you're sitting in this feeling stuck and having to do it all, you're feeling hopeless, you don't know which way is this going to go, which way is the story going to talk, to pin out. Am I going to be the winning person here, or am I going to be the loser? Like, how am I getting out of this, right? And when you are not sure, it raises so much anxiety, it raises so much overwhelmness, because you are having nothing to be holding on to and being gripping to. um, Others are crushing it in their life. Here comes the comparison, thought, right? Others are crushing it in their life. Look at them on social media. They are doing all these things. They're going on the trips. Their kids always look fabulous. They are like all this stuff. And then you look around in your own home and you're like, oh my gosh, the dog pooped over here again. And, the toys are everywhere and the puppy shredded everything. And it's just a disaster. How many times have you thought about this, and how many times you feel the pressure of performing at work, having deadlines, doing, like, it's too much. It's too much for many women, okay? The kids are not behaving, and you cannot stand it when they also disrespect you. Not only does everyone else in your life disrespect you, but the kids are disrespecting you as well. You feel the pressure and the judgment from everybody looking at you all the time. You are constantly just tired and exhausted, and you just want to give up, but you can't, because if you're going to give up, then everyone else is going to fail too, and that pressure just gets higher and bigger, and no one is coming to rescue you, and you're just numbing your emotions with TV, alcohol, eating, food, and some of you are just needing to have pills, Xanax, anxiety meds, any kind of things. It's just too much, okay? Yeah, you're not alone. There's so many people, and that was me also, right? I mean, I'm not telling you that I wasn't there. I was exactly there. That's why I know it, right? It takes one to know one. And it's something that when I teach out of experience how I walked it free, how I listened to some things. And the problem with these courses, the problem with therapy and other personal developments is that they are giving them their solution. They're giving you their solution. The problem with their solution is that those solution may not be applicable to your life. It may not be applicable to your situation. And what's different about the Walk It Free movement is that I teach you to see and learn and do your thing according to your life. You be the master, and I'm just empowering you and equipping you to gain the confidence and the clarity and the strength and give you support to walk that journey and apply what you're learning, right? That's taking action is half the battle. See, we all kind of know what we're supposed to do, but we don't know how to put it into place. We don't know how to put it in. And it's not always just working the one way. Okay. So I'm going to share a few lessons with you here. There's like 6 lessons that I have total for this week that I want to talk about. And the first one is embrace personal clarity before taking any action. That is the thing. When you're feeling in this spot, in this spot of hopelessness, despair, and overwhelmness, mental load, is the spot that I described earlier. If you're feeling like this, you need to gain clarity. You need to have clarity on where's your starting point. Where are you at right now? As messy as it is, this doesn't regard anybody. That just regards you. So as messy as it is, you need to really get clean with yourself as to where you are and what's going on. Okay. And then you need to figure out what pillars you need to address, right? What is it? Health? Is it business? Is it personal? Is it relationship? Is it your children? Is it your self-love? Where's the pain big, right? And when you have clarity on those big item pillars, that's when you end up making decisions as to what your steps are going to be. Okay. But without having a step back, like zoom out of your life for a minute, right? You are in the midst in the struggle, and you can't have a clear thought. That's why you need to zoom out a little bit and really take a look where you at and where do you need to start first, because you can't do it all at the same time. You're already overwhelmed. Okay, it's too much already. So you need to come out a little bit and take a step back, zoom out to take a look and lean in. Okay, lesson number 2 is break free from limiting self perceptions. Okay, so break free from limiting self perception. What does that mean? Okay, your past does not define you. It doesn't define you. We are talking about it. I talk about my past. I talk about things just for understanding and for relationship purposes. Like for you to relate with me as I share some of the things, but I don't live in the past. I cannot change the past anymore. I cannot change the future. I can hope that the future would be shaping a certain way when I take certain steps, but I can't shape the future. What I can do, however, is I can take control over the actions that I do today. What actions am I doing today? What is in my power today? Now, your phases are different. You are living in different phases. Some of you may have little kids, so your phase looks a little bit different than someone who's already having bigger kids and who has more free time, right? I couldn't read stories to my little kids because it was always just me, and I was having to worry that somebody fell down the stairs while I was like looking at a book. Like those things are different now than they were a few years ago. So you need to understand your face, and you need to see what steps can you do right now, because you can do something that will bring you forward and ease the pain that you've got going on. You can do something that will be easing that pain. Okay. Lesson number 3, prioritize self-respect to influence others positively. Okay. When I talk about self respect, I never say you need to be selfish, right? I talk about community and I talk about getting together, one for all and all for one. Those are the things that we've got going on, but then also I talk about self respect. So we need to learn how to respect ourselves so we can influence others positively. Okay. So, what does that mean? Think about it this way: if you are overwhelmed, exhausted, in this really dark, bad place, how do you show up for others? Not good, right? You're yelling, you're like stressed, you're not showing up good for yourself. If you're too tired, you're not showing up good, you're not showing up as your best self. Okay? And instead of beating yourself up and making yourself feel bad, use some self-respect. Say, listen, I'm too tired to do this right now. This morning, I'm going to be honest, I just took everybody's remote controls and I said, no, if you are not doing your chores first, I will not give you the remotes. You have to earn them. Or they were all very mad at me. But it's okay. It's respect towards me because I look at no done chores and I feel, oh, I have to do it all by myself. I don't want to feel that way, nor do I want my children to feel that way. So, what do? I become the leader of my pack and I say, no, here are the rules. I deserve to feel good also. You are needing to do what you need to do and what you said you're going to do and what we agreed on that you are going to do. That is a form of self respect. You can do that too. Okay. And it helps them to show up better and you are showing up better for them. So it works win-win for the relationship. Okay. Lesson number 4: take ownership of your choices and empower change. See, we sometimes are not clear on the choices that we're taking, and so we blame others when we don't have the outcome that we want. Okay. We need to understand that we choose everything. We choose how we show up. We choose if we're going to bed. We choose if we are taking care of our health. We choose if we are going to have some fun. We are choosing what job we are going to do. We are choosing how we are learning. We are choosing how we are feeling. We are choosing everything. I remember that, when my mom kept saying that, I thought, I'm not choosing an abusive husband, right? I didn't choose all this trouble that I was in and having, and that I had to like pack my suitcases multiple times in the, heat of the night and like leave. And, I didn't choose any of that. But I did choose to put up with it for a long time. I did choose to not have a backup plan. I did choose to ignore the red flags. I did choose those kind of things, which then resulted in other situations. And that's where you need to become aware and where you need to say, you know what, I do have some responsibility here in this. So you need to take ownership of those choices and empower the change. If you don't like it, you can change. Lesson number 5: subtract the negativity and add positivity to your life. And that is harder said than done. If your mindset goes to negative all the time, replacing it with a positive thought can be really challenging. And the way how I found it work for me is I didn't have positive talk, words of affirmation in my vocabulary. Nobody ever talked to me like that. So I naturally didn't talk to myself nicely. Okay. So the way how I fixed it is I listened to people, to mentors, to other people that were much better in positive affirmations than I was. So I was listening to all these people that were much better in positivity than I was, in words of affirmation than I was. So that is something that is really, really important, that if you don't have that yourself, you need to borrow it from somebody else. Okay, so lesson number 6, and last lesson here, is embrace growth through self-reflection and confidence building. You have to build your confidence and you have to reflect on your actions every single day or every single week at least. How did last week go? What was good in my week? What didn't go good in my week? Where do I need to change? How can I change something? What you have to pay attention to these cues that life is offering you and the feelings that you have so that you are actually able to use them as like a map quest. Remember, I talked about it before. Like, if you get in a car here and you want to go to the other side of the country, to the coast or whatever, wherever you are right now, it's going to take you forever not having a roadmap. You need to have a map. You need to have a GPS. You need to have some stops in between to get there. Okay. And other than that, you're just going to go like, whoop, and maybe you're never going to get there. That is how your life goes too. If you don't have mile markers, if you don't have guideposts, if you don't have some kind of roadmap, you are not going to get where you want to go. And, if you don't care, then make that conscious choice that you don't care what you're going to feel like, think like, believe like, be like when your last day comes. Okay, let's assume we all getting to be 100 years old, which obviously that's not the case. But every day that you're going to bed at night, you know, how was that day? Was that day filled with your priorities? Was that day filled with the things that you wanted to do? Do you feel good when you go to your in your bed, or do you not? So many times, and yes, still working on that too myself, so many times we are thinking, oh, until next week, until next month, and out of the sudden, and I'm becoming more and more aware of this right now. It's like, wow, January 20th is today that I'm recording it, and you're going to be watching it on January 23, I believe, or whenever you're watching it. This whole month of January is already almost over, and it's just like, wow, hang on a second, how did that happen? And it happens so fast. Life goes by with a blink of an eye. And unless you can look back every single day and say, you know what? I had such a full life. I had all these memories. I had all these things. It's not conscious. And for your children, it's not going to be conscious unless you are leading this on. So every year, for example, on New Year's Eve, what I do is I make a picture slideshow where my kids get to see all these fun experiences that we've made for the year, because I have found that they forget. They forget how many trips they've been on. They forget all the fun things that we've done, because your brain wants to look at the negativity. Your brain wants to look at the things that are bad. Okay. And what you need to do is you need to look at the things that are good. You need to look at what you want, put in those big rocks first, put in these pillars of your priorities, and then restructure everything around it accordingly. Okay. So that's basically what it is. That's how you take ownership. That's how you transform your life one step at a time. You have to embrace growth, and you have to really take control over the moments of your life. You have to take control. You have to make a big framework. Then you have to have your road stops. And then you have to figure out and be really clear on what this day, every week, what it's looking like for you. How do you want to feel? Okay. So I want to thank you for taking the time and watching that. I would love to hear your feedback in the comments. If you know somebody that needs to hear that, please share. If you want to have more training, more goals, more inspiring, more lessons, from the Walk It Free movement, go ahead and check out the community. That is www.walkitfree.com/community. Drop on in there. Link is down here in the below. I mean, in the wherever you're watching this. Yeah, if you are wanting some help with this, go check out my mentorship programs. Go check out some of the things that I offer on my website, www.walkitfree.com, and let's walk it free, because this is really your one time in your life. And whatever your life is supposed to look like, right? Wherever you are in your journey, there is a next step. And many times you don't know what that next step is. But you know what? Maybe it takes somebody who shines that little light, who's been there, who is able to help you figure out what your next step will look like, and will then lovingly keep encouraging you to show up. Because, if you are in this uncertainty, when you're stuck in that place that you are in right now, that bathroom floor, that bed, that couch that you cannot get off of, right? It's hard to do that alone. It's really hard to do that alone. So let me love you through this process. And if you can show up, that's all I'm going to ask you. You need to show up. And you need to take the actions that we are done discussing. And that's all. That's all you need to do. You just need to show up. You don't have to be perfect. You can make mistakes. We can work through them. We can work through self-limiting beliefs. We can work through any of those feelings that are creeping up, and we can heal them. I can help you connect with yourself and others. And through that, you're going to level up your life. I know it because I did it. All right. Walk it free, my friends. We'll see you next week.